Good evening. Your time now 7:56. Many polls across the state are closed, and we are awaiting election results to come in for the midterm primary elections. Faith Jesse and Zach Merchant, as well as our panel of experts, joining you all night.
And as those results continue to come in, we have our first race projection. The Associated Press projects that Congressman Rick Allen will move on in this primary, securing his victory in the primary with 83% of the vote right now at this early stage. Rick Allen moving out of this primary, winning outright. Other results we are still tracking in other races that are still yet to be called. One of the big ones, the Republican U.S. Senate primary. Congressman Mike Collins in the lead at about 42% of the vote. Congressman Buddy Carter in second with 27% support. And then Derek Dooley in third by, if my math is right, less than about 1,000 votes, also at 27%. A very close 2-3 split in this race that could go to a runoff. Another race that could possibly go to a runoff is this Republican gubernatorial contest. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones out in front, 37%. Rick Jackson, the healthcare executive, 35% support. And then Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger trailing in third, 15% support in this race. A different story, at least at this early juncture, in the Democratic gubernatorial race. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms with a commanding lead at this point. Still early, but still way out in front right now. 64% breaking Keisha Lance Bottoms' way. In second place, Mike Thurmond, about 13% support. Former State Senator Jason Estevez in third, 11% support at this early moment of primary night, 7:58 on the clock. More results will continue to come in.
That's right. And like you said, it's still early. Someone who's given us a closer look at these numbers is our Rebecca Lindstrom, joining us from the big board tonight. Rebecca, and you're really giving us a bird's eye view, board's eye view, if you will, of these results coming in. What are you seeing?
Well, you know, one of the things that a lot of people are looking at for tonight is just which party is energized, who's able to get folks out to the polls to actually cast that ballot. And we know that in the early voting time that it was 57% of those ballots cast were for Democrats. So that's why it was so interesting when we saw the initial results coming in, that what we were seeing were more Republican ballots that had been cast. But now it seems those early votes are starting to come in, because if you look at race after race, here's the Democratic gubernatorial primary, 258,000, basically 259,000 votes that are cast. We shift over here to the Republican side, and it's 230. So again, more Democratic ballots cast than Republican ballots, and the trend really follows as you go from race to race. Lieutenant Governor, they are on the Republican side, 221,000. Secretary of State, 248,000. Versus 211,000. So we're seeing more of those Democratic ballots when you go to the polls. As those who voted today know, you get to pick which one you want to take and vote. And right now we are seeing more of those Democratic ballots being counted, the results coming in. But we do want to zoom in to Gwinnett County. We did get some results from Gwinnett County. We've got about 32% of the estimated total vote there reporting. And here for our Secretary of State Republican primary, you've got Tim Fleming coming out in the lead. Over on the Democratic side, Penny Brown Reynolds leading here in Gwinnett County. And then if we head up to the governor's race, which I know a lot of people keeping their eyes on, wondering how Keisha Lance Bottoms was going to do once you got here into those metro counties. She's still holding strong there in Gwinnett County. And now if we head over to DeKalb, these numbers we're being told just came in. This is where people were really curious to see what that was going to say for Mike Thurmond, who has a lot of name recognition in that community, but still here in the Rankin DeKalb County with 20% of the vote. So not picking up as many of those votes as perhaps some would have expected. If we just zoom out and we go to the totals for this race, we're seeing that he is in second place with 14% of the vote. But even after getting DeKalb, you've got him still in second place with only 14% of the vote. So again, we're going to be looking at county by county what's really happening in the community and bringing that information to you throughout the evening. Zach, Faith.
Rebecca, we know you're going to stay watching this closely at the big board. a night that is going to keep us on the edge of our seats as we wait for more of those results.